Hello, freelancers. Welcome to the Assistant Success Hub, a channel that is designed to help freelancers in assistant roles grow their skills and attract the right clients. If that sounds like you, then please go ahead and subscribe and share this channel with someone who needs it too. We already know how important it is to showcase our skills to potential clients, but if you are still unsure about this, then you should check out our recent blog post. The link is in the description below. In this video, I'm not here to convince you to create a portfolio. I'm here to show you how to do it. I'll walk you through creating a simple professional portfolio using Canva, complete with a clickable link and a PDF download that you can share directly with your clients. So if you're ready, let's dive into it. So first we're going to head over to canva.com. You can use Canva on both mobile and desktop, but I recommend the web version for this kind of project, especially because the portfolio involves a lot of editing and layout adjustments. So it's easier for you to move elements around on a bigger screen. So once you get to canva.com, it's still loading. You go to templates, the templates tab. So underneath it, you have the search bar. So you're going to type the kind of portfolio that you want to create. Since we are making a portfolio for a virtual assistant, we're going to search for virtual assistant portfolio. So let's just so as we can see, there are quite a few options to pick from. You need to choose a template that reflects your style. Do you want something that is minimalist or bold or something more creative? So if we go for something that is as simple as this first one over here, from here we can see all the pages in this template. So these are all the pages in the template, and we can now customize it by clicking on the customize this template button. Alternatively, you can start with a blank page and head over to ChatGPT for help generating ideas on how to build out the template. So this is what our template looks like. So for any template you pick, you can customize the style. For instance, you can change the color palette. The color template is basically orange, blue, and white. You can decide to go with the template, or you can decide to change the template. If you have your own brand colors, you can change it to your brand colors. You can make the changes under the design menu. This is the template style here. You see is, and even the template style that we have here, you can switch the colors around. You can switch it. If you click on white, it will switch the color around. You see that it switches it. Okay, we just apply it to everything. So we see that it has switched the color. If you pick another color, it also switches. You shuffle it. Blue, let's apply it to all this. So it's reshuffled to blue, and on like that. So, but if you don't want to keep the template color, you can go out to the styles, and under styles, you can now pick whichever color you want. This is my brand color. I've already saved to Canva. So if you have your own brand color as well, you can change to that, or you can pick any color here. So once you pick a particular color, just make sure that you apply it to all the pages so that the changes can take effect. So for this particular template, this is the flow. It starts with the opening page, which is the the introductory page, the cover page. It starts with the cover page where we have the virtual assistant, the title, the brand logo, brand name, the services, and like a get started button. Then after that, there's the about us page and the background page, objectives, plan, and on and on. This is basically for an agency. So, but for you, you have to personalize it. That means that you have to change some things on the template. So for this particular template, you don't have to go with this flow. You don't have to keep all the pages exactly the same way. You can change things, you can delete things, you can add. The template is just acting as a guide. So think of all the essential information that you want in your portfolio that you want to pass on to your potential clients. Now group those information into different subcategories so that everything looks organized and flows seamlessly. It's also your opportunity to show your organizational skills as a virtual assistant. So, a well structured VA portfolio should do two things majorly. It should show that you are organized and professional, and then it should clearly communicate the value that you are bringing to your clients. So, based on this, here are some suggestions of sections that you can break this portfolio into rather than keeping this structure, this flow that is already there. First, the cover page. The cover page can be further broken down to include your name, your job title, your tagline, and then you can optionally include the profile picture, just like what they have here. So instead of having the logo there, we're going to remove the logo and customize it to be your name instead. Let's say this is for Linda. So this will be your name. You can increase the fonts for your name here. And see how the fonts become bigger. So let's lift it up a bit. And then the title, virtual assistant, is already okay. I would like to have it as small case, virtual assistant. Then rather than having services here, I'm going to put the tagline. And I'm going to remove this completely. I want to keep that shadow. Nah, let's just remove it. So the tagline doesn't have to be this big. Let's see, 32. So the tagline could be something like streamlining your day so you can focus on growth. Something like that. That's a tagline. If you need help with your tagline, you can upload your resume to ChatGPT and prompt it to craft one that reflects your strengths and your personality. But don't settle for the first result. Keep prompting ChatGPT until you get something that feels right for you. Then you put that here. Optionally, you can add your picture or you can leave your picture on the first page, or you can take your picture to the CTA page at the bottom. So if we decide to leave the picture here, that means we're going to remove this picture. We can do something that is similar to this. Let's just look for an image that we can use. Okay, let's use this picture. Let's just use it for a quick example. So if you have a picture like this and you want to customize it to look something close to this, first you have to take out the background because the background doesn't blend with the background that you have here. So to remove the background, what I do, I prefer to use you go to edit rather than just using the background remover that we have here. I go to edit and I go to Magic Grab. So you have to be on the paid plan to use the premium picture, to use the premium features. So if you click on the grab, the Magic Grab, then you grab the image that you want. I'm going to grab this as well. And then you click on the grab. I prefer this feature to the remove background because it gives a cleaner, extraction than sometimes when you use the remove background feature. So what I just do, you can see that the picture has already been detached from the background. So you just delete this and then you have your clean picture, the clean image. Now for this image to pop like this particular image here, you click on the edit again and go and apply shadow. Okay, this one, I'm clicking on this. So you click on the image, then apply shadow to it. So if I click on drop, you can see that it looks small now, like it's popping out of the page. So I'm going to reduce the color of be something grayish so that the dark shadows don't show as much. So basically you have the same. So we assume that this is your own image. That means you can now remove this image. So you have your name, your job title, and then the tagline. Next section is the about me. So rather than having about us, you just do an about me. And then you put your short bio here. Your short bio, your mission, your values, and maybe a brief summary of your career. You can also have ChatGPT do this for you, come up with a draft so that you can now edit the draft until it suits your personality. So the next page will be the services offered. So here we're going to change it to services offered and stretch it out a little so that it's on a single line. I like to have my text formatted to the left so that for me, it looks more professional than having it centered. So I'll do the same thing for here, format it left and have it on the same line. Like if you see when you're dragging your element, you see that a purple line appears on the screen. That purple line will help you align all your elements on your page. So the services offered text is aligned properly to the text at the bottom. So it makes it look more cohesive and more professional. I can reduce this element here so that it doesn't take away from whatever information that we put here. So if for the services offered section, you can have it in the form of bullet points where you list out all your services. So this could be, services such as email marketing or email management, calendar management, or social media support, things like that. Services that you're offering the client. Or you can also break it down into categories. Maybe in your admin category, these are the services you offer. In your content support category, these are the services you offer. Then in the project management category, these are the services you offer. So that kind of gives a broader view of all the things that you do. You can also make sure that you use icons. So let's assume that you offer email management. You can use the envelope icon, you know, to further drive the points in. So let's do that now. Let's say email management. You can find somewhere to slot in. I like to put it at the front. You go to elements and then look for envelope element or envelope icon. So it's going to give you several options. You can pick a graphic element, you can pick pictures, you don't want to do video for, you know, this is not going to be a video, it's not going to be in video format. So but between graphics and photos, I like to use graphics for elements such as this one. So you can click on one. Once you click on it, it appears on your page, and then you can now resize. So you see that the width and the height shows on the screen 3726. That could be important for when you are resizing the other elements on this particular page, so that everything is the same size. So I'll just place it here. So you see that it kind of drives the point in properly. If you want to say you do maybe data management or data analysis, the same way you can push this back so that it starts under the same line as the E in the email management, and then look for something, an icon that represents or portrays data. If I just type data, if you look at the graphics here, let's see what it comes up with. Something that resonates with you. For me, this looks like more like something that is describing data. So if you click on this, I think we had 36, 36 or 33. Can't quite remember, but I think this is about the size. You move it here so that it sits directly under the envelope. See how your the page is coming up. This looks a lot more presentable than just typing email management or data analysis. It drives the points better. So that's for the services offered section. So the next section will now be your projects proper. So this is where you put the project samples. So let's say projects. The project sample is perhaps the project section is perhaps the most important section of your portfolio. So we're going to be spending a lot of time here. But for now, let's just create the page and we'll come back to it. We'll come back to build it up. So we have the project, and then we go to the next section. And the next section would be the testimonial. And we have yeah, let's do the testimonial. This already even looks like a good structure for testimonial. So for this, we can have two testimonials on this page. You can see how I resize, how I stretch, my text after typing it in. So those are all the things that you do to customize your portfolio. So I want to move this up a little and this so that there's more space between the header element and you know the testimonials. So now for this, you would have to put whatever is it, maybe the name of the person, or we can just remove this. We could to pick an element, like in this particular situation now, you have two elements on placed on each other. So if you want to pick the two at once, you click on the first one. I usually click on the inner or the smaller element first, and then hold down the shift key and click on the second one. You can group these two together and move them at the same time. You can ungroup and delete them at once. Just makes life a lot simpler. So now for this element, I'm moving it up a little. This will be the testimonial. So I'm going to put, the inverted comma icon to indicate speech or a sentence. Okay. So you can just put it, make it smaller. There's the opening one. And to put another one at the bottom to close it, just duplicate, turn it around, and bring it down. I can make this smaller. I'll put it here so that whatever speech or whatever statement that the person made in the testimonial will be here. Once you click on this, you'll be able to edit this whole sentence here, this whole text box. And remember that it is left aligned, so you have to align it left so that there's uniformity all through your project pages. Everything has to be uniformed. The text size that you use here should also be something, okay, this and this can be the same, but on this page, let's make this, oh, this is still going to change anyways, so maybe that's why I didn't edit it. So, but on the other pages, make sure that your texts are the same. Your font size is the same. So we're going to do exactly the same here. We'll delete that element, bring it up. You see the purple line is going to indicate where your sentences are on the same line. So it's a perfect indicator of. Then you now copy this, bring it here to indicate the second testimonial, and this. You don't necessarily have to do this. You may prefer to use another style. So it depends. You must have a vision of what you want to do, how you want your page to look, how you want it to flow, the structure you want. So for this, I'm going to move this here. I'm going to move it up here. Oh, why is it going off? Anyways, shadows are not, you can search for shadow. It's an element that you can search for. So if we pick this one and you make it smaller and move it down here, it's just to give it some kind of lift effect. And delete that. Let's see if you can move this up. There must be something here that, maybe an element here. Let me move that up. Okay, gotcha. So I want it to be the same. I'll delete this because I prefer this. I'll move this here. Do we want to put the person's name? Maybe let's pick up a text element and say Anna Banner, as in the person that gave the testimonial. You can do the same thing for here. Does that look right? So you do whatever looks right to you, or you want to bring the name up before the shadow. If we want to do that, I can move this down and do that. and maybe put a dash. No, won't let me do that. Let me move this down so that there's uniformity. Of course, there will be different names. It won't be the same names. Maybe Christy. Let's change this to Christy Lam. Maybe put a line. You can put a straight line. And I reduce it without any stress. All right. Right, we can do that. I'll move this here. So this kind of looks okay, doesn't it? Well, of course, you don't have to do exactly this. You can customize your own page exactly how you want it. Let me move all these elements, move them down. An element that I'm seeing here that I don't get. Which one is this? I'll delete this. Okay. So I think the page looks a little bit okay. I can move this down a little. So I think the testimonial page looks better. So we have our testimonial page. I'm going to delete these two pages and produce this. Let me see this. Our services. Have we services offered already there? So I'm deleting this. Client 01, delete this. Lines 02. I'm going to duplicate this so that here I'll have the tools that I can work with, or the tools that you can work with. So let's say tools and tech I use. First we're gonna delete this. Delete. I'll make this bigger. Let's see what size this is. 29.6. So we'll change this to 29.6 and increase the width to stretch it out. I'm stretching this out as well so that they are on a single line. This looks so, maybe because of the characters, I want to increase the spacing a little. So stretch it out again. So I want this to fall under it, under the T, so that it looks balanced. So under this section, you are going to list your relevant tools. If you use Google, you can do it in bullet points as well. So if you use your Google Suite or Google Workspace, so you know how to use Google Suite. You also know how to use Trello. You know how to use Slack. You can work with Canva. Of course, we are using Canva, so yeah. You can, all the tools that you know how to use or you use very well, just put them here. So this will fall under the tools and tech. And the next page would be your skills overview. So I'll just duplicate this. So say skills overview. you know yours does not have to be exactly like mine. So you can create your own sections, the sections that you feel are important, but these are just suggestions. So for this, I'm going to, okay, do they all have effects? Let me see what effects for. Okay, they all have effects. What effects do they have? Oh, shadow. Okay, fine. Okay, so this skills and overview for, I increased the letter spacing here because of, the text. The text was looking weird to me. So, but the other pages don't have that spacing. So I'm going to remove the spacing from this text here. Spacing isn't much anyways. Let's see what letter spacing do they have here. 0 and 1.4. So let's see 0, 2. Tools and tech. Doesn't look back. Okay. It's not crazy. Not looking so terrible. So skills over, because you have to be careful. You want everything to flow and have a particular structure. So you don't want to do one thing here and not do it in the other pages. So we have the skills and tech. So here you're going to highlight your hard skills. So that's a CRM management, Canva design, then your soft skills, that's time management, attention to detail, and all that. Some people will remove this page, but if you want, you can put it. And then comes the CTA section, which is the where you put your contact information. So I'm going to remove this. Earlier in the video, I said that you can choose to put your picture on the first page or remove it. So if you want to put it, I showed you how to edit the picture. If you want to remove it, maybe do something different. As align this like this. And then the tagline. As a virtual assistant, let's look for an image. Let's say, let me see what it will come up with. Let's see. You look at photos. I would do like a desktop with, let's say, something like this. Or let me use frame. Let's see. Let's look for a frame, like a square frame. That would be here. Okay, I'll put this in the frame. Okay. Let's bring this position up. So if we decide that you don't want your picture in the first page, if I move the picture away, if you don't want the picture, let's realign this with the tagline. Because this looks blank, let's increase this a little. We can make this look a bit faint, reduce the transparency, right? I can reduce this to this length. Let me reduce the curved end. It's too curvy. Okay, if we have that, and on the whole of the page, let's put like a Let's put like a motif. Let's put a motif. Let's look for a motif that we can put that will make it look less plain. Let's look, see if we can see something that will look a bit professional, but the space won't be just blank. Okay, we do this. And let's reduce the transparency. Okay, it's not too obvious. And then the page is not just looking blank. Let's see the position. It's back. So this is an alternative way to have your first page. Can see that, because I'm working on the desktop, it's easy for me to move stuff. If you were using your phone, it brings in some sort of restrictions. I don't want to delete this because I'm thinking of using it at the bottom to show how you can now put, like I often put my, I'll copy it. I often put my picture at the CTA section, so you can do that. Just remove this, bring in a, let me paste the picture here. So we bring in the same frame. We're going to use a frame as well, but let's use a circular one. You can put the frame up here and then move the picture in there. So I have to take a picture that is a headshot for you to have, that effect of, just your face showing. Your picture should be a headshot. So when you move it in here, it will just, the circular part, it should just be in like a circular form and, just there. Let me show you how to use an headshot. Because we already removed the background of this, so it might, the image and leave the frame there. So I'm going to look for a picture of an headshot. Let's see, let's use this one. All right, so this is perfect. So this is how it would look if you use your head. Just take a picture of an headshot about this size, like a passport photograph size. Then you'll get that effect of, your face in the kind of the frame, the circular frame. So that's how to do that. So this will be the CTA section. This, I'm going to reduce it. This is where you ask them to contact you. So it will be your phone number, your email address, and then the contact button. So this contact button, I think let's change the color of the button so that it shows more and it pops. So if we use that color, what color? The main color. That is too dark. If we use this, it blends with the page, the image. Then I'll change the text color to this off-white. I'll make it bigger. And of course, I'll change the text. I'll change the text to, that's my Grammarly. Let me remove it. So I'll change this to contact me or whatever you think is more appropriate. I'm going to move this up a little because the shadow is not. So this is how to edit your templates. Now we have all our pages in. So now we're going to go back to our projects, the project page. So it's time to edit the project section. This is where the work is, like I said earlier. Your project section should highlight 2 to 3 diverse projects, and each of the projects should showcase different skills or service area. So you're not repeating. If you're going to showcase 3 different projects, if you're going to showcase 3 projects, it shouldn't be the same. And don't make the mistake of featuring 3 projects that all reflect the same expertise. Don't do that. For example, if you are skilled in project management, social media management, and data analysis, showcase 1 project from each category. This shows range and it helps the client understand the breadth of your experience. Next, you should tailor your projects to the job. This section of your portfolio is not static. Your projects should not be static. It should shift depending on the type of job that you're applying for. Before sending your portfolio with your CV or proposal or cover letter, make sure that you read the job description carefully. Understand the client's pain points, identify them, then choose the projects that reflects the skills and the results that they are most likely to care about. You cannot be, for instance, I don't believe in, one size fits all, where if I'm applying for a data focused role, my project section doesn't reflect anything that has to do with my experience as a data focused person. My project section must reflect that. And don't be afraid to, showcase transferable skills. Even if you haven't done something exactly like what the client is looking for, you can still show what you've done or something that you've done that is similar but in a different context. So that is important for you to note. Then in your project section as well, make sure that you are telling a story. Clients just don't want to see what you did. They want to understand how you think. So use a structure that explains your reasoning process and make sure that it is easy to follow. When the client is reading it, it's easy for them to follow your train of thoughts, easy for them to understand your decision, and it's easy for them to sort of see how idealistic or strategic or detail oriented you are. So take note of that. So for the project section, I'm going to suggest that you structure each project in this way. You start with the project list. Some people do without the project list. The project list is just a bullet list of all the projects that you are featuring in the portfolio. So I like to put it there so that it's like a heads up for whoever is looking at the portfolio. So if, for instance, your project is going to feature, let's put it in bullets, is going to feature maybe a client onboarding, experience for ABC company. The next one is sales analysis for XYZ company. And then the last one will be social media content calendar and workflow for ZCE company. So these are the 3 projects that you want to showcase. So we're putting that out first for the client to see. Now I'm going to duplicate the page. So the next thing now is to pick each project individually. So we're going to pick each project individually. For each project, I'm going to break it down into different segments. First is the project title. So I can put project. Oops. Why? What happened? That's project title. Of course, we would let's drag it out. So the columns there and smaller. For example, if the project title is this, let's see, just Control C and come here and Control V, drag it out. I'm still going to or can do this as X. Use two individuals so I have more control. So let's just duplicate this. Let's make this 35. Drag it out. I want it to be lowercase and this, make this 40 and reduce this. I can bold both. I'll bold this as well and indent it. So however way it looks good to you, you can keep trying until it looks exactly as you want. I'm just going to copy this and drag it down. So now we have the project title as that. Now you're going to tell us what the problem is or was that you solved. So this is the problem. Oops. The problem. You're going to use text to describe the problem. For example, you can say client onboarding experience, or let's say returns due to poor client onboarding experience, something like that. It's not going to be bulleted, so we're going to remove the bullet. So that could be the problem. So next, you want to, let's copy this or pick this too and copy or just duplicate, move it down and say the solution. What was the solution preferred? So here you are going to state what steps did you take, what workflow or strategy did you implement. So you're going to state all that there. Then next, again, we're going to now bring it down and say what is or what was the result. So the result, you break down the result. So here you have to be specific though. You have to include measurable outcomes. For example, 100% reduction in return requests or maybe 15% increase in engagement. Those kind of, you know, outcomes is what you want to portray. Measurable outcomes, not abstract outcomes. Then next you're going to um we're deleting this. So next we're going to talk about the tools that you use. So what tools did you use in performing this project? Because actually you have to show that you can use certain tools that you put down in your tools section. So you got to state it here. Did you use maybe Slack or Google, etc. All the tools that you used, etc. So you can put them in bullet points or you can write it in straight line, however way you feels is right for you. So I'm going to duplicate this page. So on this page here, I'm going to put the mock-ups or screenshots, whatever screenshots that you have. So here we're going to put the screenshots or the mock-ups, as appropriate. Only include visuals with the client's permissions. You cannot put people's job out there. If the project is covered by an NDA, create a mock-up or describe the work generically while keeping confidentiality in mind. Make sure that you keep that at the back of your mind. So, so this is how to create a quick portfolio. Now, if we go back to the first page, the same motif that we use here, we can use it. Let's delete this. We can use it on all the pages for consistency sake. So all the elements that you used will be there for you to find easily under recently used. So you just click on it, drag it out. Let's see, the 10 transparency here is 10. So we can do the same thing here. 10. So transparency is 10. Then the positioning will take it to the back. So it's not covering any of our elements. So whatever it is we've done here, I'm trying to see this about me. It looks like. So I'm going to delete this. The white background kind of gives it more definition. Let's bring it back because it gives it more focus on there. So we'll leave it. This motif, I'll just copy this and take it to the other pages. So this is our project completed, and I think it came out nicely. So the next thing that we need to do is to share the portfolio with our clients. You can share it with along with your CV. You can add it to your CV. You can add it to your proposal or your cover letter. So now to add it to your CV, you may want to use a link. You may want to add a link instead. So you go to share at the top right corner of the screen, and you click on only you can access. Click on that and change it to anyone with link. So once you've done that, you now want to change the can edit to can view. If you leave it as any other option, for instance, if you leave it as can edit, that means that anybody with the link can edit your portfolio, and you don't want that. Or anybody with link can pass a comment on it. So the best option is to leave it as can view, so that whoever gets the link will be able to view your portfolio easily. So once you've done that, you just click on copy. Of course, remember to change the name, the title of the portfolio. You can change it to virtual, let's say Linda Akeju portfolio. So if you click on the link, you see that this is how it displays. You can paste the link in your CV. You can also paste it in proposal or the cover letter. So another way to share your portfolio would be to download it as PDF. So to download as PDF, you just click on the download arrow, and then if it's not already on PDF standard, you put it on PDF standard, and then you click on download. So that is how to create a simple portfolio using Canva. That's all, folks. You have a professional freelance virtual assistant portfolio ready to share with your clients. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, share it with your fellow freelancers, and subscribe for more practical freelance tips. Thank you so much for watching, and see you again in the next video. Bye.